We are live. Back again. Tell a friend.
That's exactly what I was just thinking in my head.
Yeah, right?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the wilderness thing. That was
Yeah. Camp Snowflake Mountain. Really neat little Netflix show. It was so funny though, like, because as a parent, I'm watching the show and the kids are just lazy, disrespectful. They do absolutely nothing. They're freeloading off their parents. But these kids are anywhere from 20 to 26 years old, and most of them were like 22, 23, 24. And I'm thinking to myself, while your kid definitely needs to learn to grow into adulthood and do their own thing and get out there, what did you do for the last 24 years? What a horrible parent you've been all this time. Like, I wish I could take you out in the wilderness and beat you for your insolence and not knowing how to raise your children right.
Yeah.
Very interesting show.
That was hilarious. But it is true. It is true.
You're gonna spend 20 years not doing anything properly, and then all of a sudden it's society's problem that your kid doesn't know how to be an adult. Shame.
Yeah. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Kim. Yeah, we're missing one. That guy Chris, if anybody's ever heard of him. Ugh. He's probably in the car somewhere. Knowing Chris.
Isn't he driving today?
I think he's headed.
Maybe he's headed to Florida.
Florida, something like that. Yeah. So
fair enough.
We'll see if he can make it or not. It's not like he actually fills out the forms anyway.
Oh.
Literally got it down to one form. Still can't get people to fill it out. Just one with 3 questions.
If we got it down to like one question, did you have a good week, Chris?
No. You know what? You know what the one question is that he would need to do is it would just be the button submit with a question mark.
With a reminder every day. Don't forget to click the button.
That's it. Doesn't do anything, doesn't help anyone, doesn't answer any questions, but that's the type of form that I think Chris can handle.
Multiple choice isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, you can't make Chris choose.
Oh gosh.
Well, let's say hello. Good morning. Good morning, everybody tuning in. We got a bunch of people from Real Estate Success Strategies. What's up?
Nice.
Super glad to have you guys here. There's always someone saying they're watching from my Twitch, and I feel like it's probably always a bot.
Probably.
No, I don't have anybody on Twitch that is up this hour. Gamers typically don't get up this early, so.
My husband's kid is a gamer. He ain't up.
That's right. That's
right.
We're
gamers. We're up. He's gaming. He's over there. He's gaming.
What?
Yeah.
He's still on vacation, isn't he?
He's out all next week. So, yep.
All right. But if he wasn't, would he be up gaming right now?
Well, he'd be at work right now, but he comes home and games, so.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's different.
Anyway, Good morning. Welcome to, again, I almost said Hump Day Huddle. On our Home Team Mega Team Challenge, where we go live every Friday, 8 a.m. Central, and we just share what's it like to build a team, run a team. The good, the bad, the ugly, the absent. Thank you, Kat. I really appreciate that. That was good. I thought that was clever. And so, I think we have just Walter and I that did the forms, but I'm sure we can find some things to talk and share about, like the wilderness. But I guess, Walter, we'll start with you, buddy.
Yeah.
What's one problem issue that you had with the team this week?
There's not enough Hawaiian shirts in our family.
There's not. I agree.
There's not enough Hawaiian shirts in our family.
Well, then, of course, I've got to ask, how are you fixing this detrimental, painful?
It's an epidemic, I would say, and we are going to fix it. We're going to come in here with like the Hawaiian vibe and CDC, and we're going to inoculate this problem so it never happens again. So really, really great collaboration happened last week. After the idea was kind of like, yeah, we should do that, and everyone was like, we should do that. I'm like, okay, we'll do that. And so I reached out to a company that makes custom Hawaiian shirts and reached out to a couple, but found the one that we really wanted to work with and started putting some stuff together. Great input from Robert and Chris. And then, of course, Mrs. Bean, the graphic genius, just slam dunks the shirt design for us. And so I'm going back and forth right now, actually fine tuning that with the company. And there will very shortly be an announcement of the Carbon Club EXP Hawaiian shirt that anyone will be able to buy. And then the hope is that we rep it out together on the same exact day. Everyone who goes to EXP Con will pick a day. We're rolling in. Everyone is going to see this crowd in Hawaiian shirts and go, who are they?
That's
going to be awesome. And then
Just
everyone will
wait.
have them for whatever else they want them to use them for.
The design is so cool.
It is. Like, I've got a lot of Hawaiian
unique
shirts, but it's probably going to be one of my favorite once I see it and I put it on. I mean,
I'm stoked.
it's
My
pretty
wife is so
stellar.
talented. That's
I don't
who
know
I was
that I
referring
can-
to, Mrs. Bean.
I don't know if I can share it, the mock-up on them. It probably won't come out very well for the ladies that are watching, but
It's probably
with
hard
the
to
carbon
see.
That's
molecules.
Oh,
That's cool.
So we're gonna tweak the EXP because the Carbon Club text and the EXP text are obviously a little bit different size. We're gonna tweak it slightly to better balance our Carbon Club logo with the EXP logo. But that's the gist of the design with the carbon molecules as the background. I think it's gonna look rock star.
I'm stoked. I am all about that. And in case you guys forgot about me, but I love matching.
you need to like have an intro song so that when you guys go into EXP Con, someone's got it on speaker.
Yeah,
Like come in like a flash mob.
I like
Yeah.
that.
It's got to be like some sort
It needs
of
a
like
Hawaiian feel with a ukulele in the background.
right. It's like if a rock band replaced all their instruments with Hawaiian instruments.
There's some really great like classic Elvis era songs that are jazzy and a little
What's
bit
up,
of rock and
Trina?
roll,
Good
but
morning.
with a Hawaiian feel. We could totally do that.
I'm all about that. We'll have a theme song. There's a whole bunch of things, and then we can use that for all the fun times that we do events and things like that. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Fog machines,
We
all
need
that.
somebody to bring in the old school boombox on
Oh
their
my gosh,
shoulder so that
yes.
we're blaring.
Chris can do that. That feels the lumberjack, right?
That does feel like Chris.
Yeah.
That works good.
Now we just got to get the lumberjack. All right, Walter. What's some of your favorite moments from the week?
Oh man, the accountability groups again with it. Not that they went well because they've been going well, but seeing how many people wanted to pile in and do it again. They're like, yes, I want either I didn't do it last time and I'm seeing all the results and I want to get in, or I did it last time and it was awesome and I'm doing it again. It's just great to see those coming back around and everybody is buying in on their own, volunteering, jumping in.
I agree. And it's awesome to see that our numbers of who are joining the accountability groups actually went up.
Yep.
I honestly thought they'd go down. I did, because I think that a lot of people at the end of the day say they have goals, but they don't want to be held accountable to them, because that means that either they're going to have to admit something about themselves they don't want to, which is they're not as committed, or they're going to have to commit.
Right.
And both of those things can be pretty harsh to take on. It's been hard for me looking in the mirror. I have not, people would think, but I have not met all my goals. I have absolutely failed on several goals, and it really makes you reflect when you actually have to talk about it, when you have to actually admit it out loud, and you can't sweep it under the rug. If I didn't tell you guys in an accountability group, oh, well, I had this goal of being out of work at this time to go spend time with my family consistently, you guys would never know. Nobody would ever know. I would never have to face that. But yeah, here we go. And here we are. Trina, these accountability groups, we made them, and we made them for people who are inside the Carbon Club, because we found that brokerages, and it's not even brokerages' fault, by the way, I'm not even dogging on them, but brokerages, it's almost impossible to have any sort of accountability. It's too wild, it's too messy, And I think a lot of agents don't expect that of their brokerage, even though I think it'd actually be really good for brokerages to have some level of accountability. I think we'd all probably agree that brokerages taking more leadership and kind of holding people to an expectation probably really healthy for our industry. And then teams, even amongst teams, I'm going to say it, there's not a lot of accountability. There's not a lot of transparency. Obviously, there's always exceptions, but as a general, I know lots and lots of teams, of agents on teams who are like, yeah, I just do my own thing. And I'm like, well, why are you on a team then? Like, no harm, no foul, but why are you on a team? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I was hoping to get more support. And I was like, and more accountability? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, huh, interesting. So what we did, Trina, is we looked at this and we kind of made a hybrid of where it's like, if you're in the Carbon Club, but you don't have to be on our home team. But if you're in the Carbon Club, we have these accountability groups that we help facilitate. They're all voluntary, which is one of the most important aspects, is people. And they're small groups, usually like 4 or 5 people in each group. Even the group leaders, it's not myself, Walter, or Chris. Like, we step in if needed, but right now we have volunteer leaders who come in too, and it is amazing. Man, like, I can't believe I didn't start doing this for everybody. And there's a specific way to do it too, because I would assume all of you have been a part of some sort of accountability group. Have you guys?
Yeah.
Right. Prior to these ones, have you been in them? So honestly, be honest. And anybody watching too, have you been in an accountability group? And if so, what was your experience? I would actually love to hear from you guys. Like, what was your experience? Kat, I know you've been in an accountability group before, probably a few.
Yeah, I've been in several different ones. I've been ones on teams. I've been ones in like productivity coaching and stuff that the brokerage tried to set up. So, and it's gone one of two ways. One, it's extremely hardcore and there's a lot that you're supposed to amount to, but at the same time, even if you get a little bit right, there's not really that praise and, okay, you're at least moving forward. How can we help you? It's kind of like, oh, well, you didn't do all of this, so you suck. Right?
So it's like really judgmental.
It's just that the focus is on the big goal instead of all the small goals that you're completing as well. And then I've been on the opposite end of the spectrum where I've had people that still great coaches, but don't have the leadership piece to be able to say, hey, okay, it looks like you've, been holding back or failing at all of these. So how can we help so we can push you forward? So they just kind of like leave them alone because they don't know how to have that conversation. Maybe it's because the personalities don't match and that person just doesn't know how to deal with that personality or whatever the case may be, right? So I've been on both ends of the spectrum where it's been complete opposites of you get a little bit of accountability, but really it's kind of on you. But if you do it, great. But if you don't do it, I mean, it's okay. And then I've been on the other end where it's like, I'm trying and I'm doing good on these areas. So why can't we focus on these areas? And I still get bombarded on, well, that's not good enough.
And I'm going to take a guess, was the more hardcore one more production focused as well?
Yeah.
I figured. So it was more money driven than development driven.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the problem with accountability is a lot of these accountability groups they're trying to hold people accountable to what they want those people to do. I think we've all learned probably over the years, but most of us are stubborn. If we're entrepreneurs, we're extra stubborn and independent, and we want to do things our way, or at least feel we're doing things our way. And so I think it's really hard when you have accountability groups that are money focused, because one, you can get money from anywhere, from any industry, from any source. There's a million different ways. And then two, if you are money driven, the community's not going to serve you well. That's not a community. And if you aren't money driven, then the accountability group won't mean anything for you. And I think that's another unique thing that I feel we've done here is that the people in the accountability group choose for themselves what their goals are. It could be personal goals. It could be weight loss. It could be getting up at a certain time. But the point is to grow them in a way, because what we know is, and what we've seen over the years is that if the people grow consistently in their lives, if they're improving personal and business, then their business will be better too. Like overall, their life will be better. If they're healthier, they will probably perform better in their business. They will probably feel better. They will probably have more to give their clients. If their marriage is better, if they're, and so like we've got people who make business related goals, which are fantastic, but then we've also got personal goals. And I think that's really, really healthy in accountability groups. And I try to encourage people to always have at least one personal goal. Don't look at this and say, oh, I want to make X amount of dollars. I'm like, that's not a real goal, to be honest. And that's not developmental. We want you to grow from this. We want you to be better than you were before. Irene, have you been in accountability groups before? No.
That explains some things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I figured if I didn't say it, Kat would, so I jump in there.
It was right there.
It
was right there. It was.
So Walter, what, Irene?
I'm still on the beach.
You're still on the beach.
She's still mentally on the beach.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It seemed like you had a great time.
Good.
Yeah.
So how about you, Walter? So prior to these accountability groups, what's some of your experience? Like Kat was sharing hers.
Yeah. So you kind of already talked about it, but I'll reinforce it. I suppose most, especially if leadership comes up with the idea, right? Most accountability groups are a top down. These are the things I need you to be accountable to yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's me telling you, here's what I need you to be accountable to. That's ineffective. My goals are not your goals. My standards are not your standards. My performance is not your performance. And it doesn't need to be. It's okay. So what I love about ours is, like you said, we had agents that they had business goals. Absolutely. Hey, I want to do this much prospecting. I want to get out of my comfort zone and go do this new strategy. I want to do whatever it was that they wanted to do. But laced in there were things like, I want to read more weekly to learn better.
Yes.
I want to get up earlier and put 30 minutes of my day into fitness to get my body and my mind right so that I can benefit my business at a higher level. It was not just, I want to close this much, I want to make this much business focused stuff. And nothing was directed upon somebody. Right. That's what really makes it tangible is we don't get to choose your success. You do. We're simply going to come around you. We're going to support you. We're going to remind you. And if for some reason you miss it one week, we're going to take some time and we're going to dive into that. And we're going to see if we can break down why so that you can grow from it and not make that same mistake the next time and you'll be better for it. So everything we did was in a non-judgmental, non-structured, if you will, way where it was just a small group of friends getting together to share their dreams, share their goals, and help each other accomplish them. It was wonderful. I love the format that we're using.
It's so simple, and yet I feel like it's the most powerful one that I've ever been a part of because I'm like looking forward to the next one because I know I'm going to get something out of it. And that's a really good feeling. When I was the last accountability group I was in, which was quite a few years ago, maybe it was when Catherine and I were at the same time even. I know we were never in the same group, but I think were I'm trying to say it without saying it. I think we were in
the same circles,
subgroups within a big group. And every day it was just, did you make your calls? I was like, let me be clear. I never even agreed to make calls. Someone told me I had to go join a group and do these things to achieve success. Now, mind you, I had already outsold their number one agent. And they were telling me to go do these things. Now, I admit pride, right? But I'm like, I didn't even agree. I was just forced into these groups and then forced to come up with some random number of calls I was going to make that I wasn't going to make. And I'm pretty outspoken about what I'm going to do and not going to do. So told them, and I told them I'm not going to do these calls because that's not the way I run my business. And their response was, make up a number. What is the point? Like, who are you kidding here? Like, it was really frustrating. And then I have been in productivity groups, and I think a lot of them have a really good sentiment, and I think they have a lot of good intentions. And I've met some wonderful people who have ran them that really care about others. But I feel like it's one of those things where you're still doing that thing where the individual is lost. You're taking one person as the leader and having them try to direct a huge herd of cats. Listen, it doesn't matter how much they love cats. You're really not going to get results from that. That's just the truth. The odds are against you. And then on top of it, there's that some of these productivity groups have percentages involved. Well, now you've got people who are more focused on how much money they're going to lose or make versus how much they can grow, how much they can succeed. And so now they're going to make goals that are focused on money versus goals that are focused on improving themselves. Well, we all know that if yourself is not improved, then it doesn't matter what money goals you set. You'll never be happy enough. You'll never make enough. You'll burn more bridges. You'll have more problems. I know, Kat, you're amazing at talking about this. It's like it won't be worth it. Even if you meet those money goals, it won't be worth it if you yourself as a person has not grown along with that. So I totally agree. I love our groups. I think it's amazing. So Irene, I'll just say, congrats on having vacation. I won't ask you the questions because I feel like it would be silly. Unless there's something you want to share. I mean, you're always more than welcome.
I've seen a bunch of stuff come to my phone while I was on vacation, so that's good. I don't know what any of it was because I didn't get any emails on it or anything, but I've seen a bunch of dot loop stuff pop up. So I'm hoping that means there's contracts.
Me too.
Yeah.
Kat, I mean, do you want me to ask you the questions? I know that you were gone pretty much this whole week.
Yeah, that was
that wonderful surprise.
That was and funny enough, so we were actually on our team meeting call, and of course I'm multitasking. I know Walter is against but I'm constantly so I was doing team meeting, but you guys were actually interacting, so I was checking some text messages that were coming through, and I saw this message that popped up, and it was my husband to my parents, who actually had my youngest one. He was going out to ride four-wheelers and stuff, and so he messaged him Monday morning, like I guess it was 8:30, 8:45 when we were finishing up our meeting, and I was like, what is he saying? And I saw my name. It was the only reason that I read it. And it said, oh, by the way, Kat, go ahead and pack your bags because we're leaving. And I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me, say what? And so and to be completely honest with everybody, and this might be something good for anyone that might be struggling or need to hear this. I've been doing a lot of stuff, right? And I've got clients that I'm working with and some projects that I'm trying to build out and build up my consulting side of my business. And I've had a major mental block. So I've been putting my heart and soul into stuff and kind of overdoing myself. And then the weekends we end up being busy, even with it being fun, it's still busy. So there's not a ton of downtime. And it got to the point to where I told my husband last week, I can't think. Like I can't come up with anything. I can't figure out how I want to do this. I feel like every time I sit down, I'm completely and totally distracted. Like I'm extremely frustrated, and I'm not getting anything done. I'm going in circles. And we really haven't taken time to slow down and just do some things and enjoy ourselves, it's always go, 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 go. Like I said, even on the weekends, we go out and we do stuff, we hang with people, or we go and check things out. And you would think that you're like, oh, it's downtime, I'm doing something fun. Let me just tell everybody it's not. Sometimes you just need to sit your butt on the couch and not do absolutely anything. And so the surprise to go to Destin was actually exactly what I needed, because being able to just forget about everything. I rearranged my schedule. Thank goodness for my clients that I do work with that completely understood. I actually still did some work, but it was nice to be able to literally go to the beach, hang out, get some sun, come back in, do an hour or two of work, and then go back out and just enjoy myself, instead of everything being planned and it feels like you're constantly pushing stuff. So we drove back late last night. We were going to come home that morning when Irene did, but my youngest one was with us and hasn't been to the beach in years. So we tried snorkeling, which unfortunately the weather canceled that, but we found a beach access area that's specifically for the military. My husband's was in the military, so it was fantastic. There was like 6 people out there across this huge stretch of beach, and we just sat and played. And watching him play in the water, even at almost 15, was fantastic to just see him having a bunch of fun. So I encourage people to, if you're busy during the week and you feel like you're constantly going in circles, it may be time for you to literally take a break and not do crap. If it makes you feel better, make a list of stuff that you need to do on the weekend, which is what I did. And I really looked and I was like, do I really need to do it this weekend, or can it hold off? Right? Like cleaning house. Yeah. I hate not getting my house clean, but cleaning my house and doing that versus maybe just sitting and enjoying some peace and quiet and listening to music or staring at the TV for an hour or two really does help you just kind of let go of all the other things that you're constantly doing. So for anyone that feels like they're in that mode, I strongly suggest that if you can't get out, just go for a walk over the weekend and then don't do anything else for the rest of the weekend. Like, your life is not going to fall apart if you don't get your house cleaned, or if you don't go get groceries the day you say you're going to. So
I don't know about the house cleaning thing. The house cleaning thing that might. I'm very like, my house has to be clean.
I used to be like that, but when you only have the weekends, sometimes it's like, do I want to spend 3-4 hours now trying to clean, or would I rather go out with my husband and just do some stuff? And I can clean, either late that evening, or maybe even when I get up first thing in the morning. Maybe instead of, sitting around and doing my reading, I take a little bit of that time out and I use that time, because cleaning to me does make me feel better, but I don't want to put that above enjoying myself. And that's something that it took me a long
time. And
time.
Honoring your husband, because it's like, I struggle with that because I love working. I really do. I love what I do. And like, there are times where, like, when I have downtime and people are like, oh, are you going to go do something fun? And I'm like, yes, I've been wanting to build this form and I've been working on these postcards for the agents. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, I really like those things. It brings me so much joy. But sometimes I just have to set that aside and go do something to honor my family, and it's healthy for me, but my brain just is caught up in all the work I want to do, that it's not thinking about the other things that would be good for me, that would be good for others. Mm-hmm. And so it's so important. And Walter, in his time management, he talks about making sure to book an appointment with yourself every week, right? It's every week. Every week. Do you want to share about that?
Simple concept. So prioritize your life, not just your business, not just the activities you need to do to grow and close deals. Prioritize your whole life. So if the things that matter in your life are not on your calendar, you're not prioritizing your life. So I use the example all the time. If I decide I want to take my wife out to dinner on a Friday night, I will put a 2-hour block around the time I want to take my wife out to dinner on my calendar. It's not so that I don't forget to take my wife out to dinner. It's so that nothing else can now encroach on my time, and I will have it budgeted so that I can go mentally decompress, and I don't have to worry about, well, what am I not doing if I'm doing this? I've already decided this is what I'm doing with my time. So it's perfectly fine. It's part of in the military, we call it a battle rhythm, right? It's part of the daily routine to put the things that matter most onto your calendar. It's not all business. If you're always just putting business on your calendar, you're going to burn out quick, right? So you just have to. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would and Trina just commented about would love to have the weekends, but lately it's been with clients. So that's most agents. And I would say, because a lot of us come from an employment situation, we're used to working during the week and having the weekend to ourselves. Take an afternoon during the week. You're an agent. It doesn't have to be the weekend. That's something I had to learn.
It feels awkward, but
it's really weird. But once you get used to it, you can then take a break whenever you want. So you don't have to wait for that weekend. Like Walt was saying, you can schedule that in sometime during the week and just take an afternoon or an evening or maybe, a morning to, and get started after lunch. So it doesn't have to be a weekend. We're so stuck in that
that mindset,
that employment mindset where most of us, work during the week, and then, the weekends are for catch up and having fun. Not when you're an agent. That's the whole reason that a lot of us became agents, right? There's the whole reason that a lot of us became entrepreneurs was so we can make our own time. Well, making your own time means when you see that you have time, not just for the weekend.
Okay. Yeah. And don't be afraid to, if you're going to look at your week, arbitrary example. Let's say Thursday, your clients aren't ready to go shop for houses because they're in the middle of their work day, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're going to have you busy. And you put onto your calendar 6 or 8 hours during Thursday that you want to go do something for you, for your family, with your family, without your family, right? Whatever you want to do. If you put it on your calendar, it's really easy to say, sorry, I'm not available then. Yep. Because you're not. Your time is booked. Hold that line, right? If you decide you need the time and you put a 6-hour window on your schedule on Tuesday afternoon, you're not available Tuesday afternoon. It's okay. Your business will still thrive. Your clients will understand.
Yep.
You will not suffer in any way, monetarily or from your business, if you block time, and then whatever you've blocked, you're simply not available.
And people have to remember too, and I get this, so it's not being harsh, but more of the mindset, like Kat was talking about. Like, you have to get out of that employee mindset. Your clients will choose what they need to do. They will cancel on you if it doesn't work for their schedule. Yeah. And they might not even give you an explanation. They're going to do what's best for them. And you need to do what's best for you. Now, if serving them and going above and beyond is best for you because it's best for your business and that's what you need right now, awesome. Go grind it out, go do what you got to do. But if taking a moment to spend time with your family, to take care of your health, to do certain things is imperative for your well-being, then no one client will ever be worth you losing that. Now, it's a personal decision. There are moments to cancel your plans and go serve a client. Absolutely. There are moments, but it can't be that moment every day, all day.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a place. I typically, you guys know this about me, I really believe in the Sabbath. I teach Sunday school. So I try my best to not do any type of work on Sundays. That's what I've chosen for myself, for my personal beliefs and honoring God, to serving others that are not just monetarily related to me, but rather teaching kids purely for teaching and giving and serving them. Going grocery shopping with my family, spending time with them. Like, I try so hard to make sure to honor that and preserve that, because if I don't, like, there were years I didn't go to church because I just kept saying I had other things to do. But again, from my personal belief, I knew that those things weren't as important as my soul. And so people have to decide for themselves. And again, people are always so afraid of, like, when my client says they need this right away. And it's an uncomfortable conversation, but people need to remember, again, the clients will not hesitate, no matter how much they like you. They will not hesitate to do what's best for them. And that's good. That's fine. They need to take care of themselves. They are a higher priority than your commission. That's fair. I think that's pretty reasonable. But at the same time, that's why I tell agents, don't get all hung up and spend all your time on just one client. You need to work multiple people. You need to have good relationships with your old clients. You need to be bringing in new business and building new relationships. It's good. It's healthy. And we have to have that balance. We have to have that respect and relationship. Someone wants you 24/7. I had a client call me at 10 o'clock at night, and that's way past my hours. And so I always ask them, is it an emergency? Right? Is someone dying? Is someone right? Right? Are you calling me more of a friend in need, not a client with client question? And then they're like, well, it was about, and they started talking about warranties and stuff. And I said, awesome. I'll be back in the office. What time do you get up in the morning? I'm sure I'll be up before you. What time do you get up in the morning? And guess what? I talked to them in the morning, and I was more focused. I was more aware because I wasn't laying in bed, like not being present. So I just think it's really, really important. And I love how much we brought up about all this. Oh, I didn't even do my questions. Huh.
Your turn.
Problem issue faced with the team this week. So this is on me, and it's learning that balance. So I don't know enough about the brokerage's side of onboarding. And because I don't know enough, I can't intervene as well. And I learned that with an agent who is a brand new agent who just joined our team, and he was struggling to get put onto RealTrax. As a brand new agent, I didn't remember who actually gets him into RealTrax. Is it the brokerage? Is it your association? Is it something with NAR? Is it does he go to RealTrax directly? I honestly didn't remember. Because I just don't remember what I had to do. And then every time you move a brokerage, then it's just getting added onto their roster.
Mm-hmm.
But what about a new agent? So for me, one of the issues I faced was I did not have enough documentation. Or Kat, you were out, right? I don't actually know how to add people to .loop, right? I don't know how to add people to .loop. Even if I don't specifically know how to do it, there should be a process written somewhere so that, Kat, if you're sick, if you're out, if you get a wonderful surprise vacation, I can take that burden off your shoulders so you can be present and enjoy yourself while also making sure that the quality and consistency doesn't stop. And so I kind of learned a bit about that. Trina, RealTrax is MLS. So it's just an MLS here in Middle Tennessee. So that's one issue I faced, is that I realized there were some crucial processes that I did not have documented. And because I didn't have them documented, I was not able to more effectively support, encourage, give resources. And you guys know I'm very hands-on. I want to help people with any problem they're facing. So how I'm trying to fix that problem is, of course, Catherine's helping on our home team side of teaching Misa, and then Misa will create standing operating procedures, SOPs, for these processes that any of us can access. Walter could come in and be like, listen, you really need help? Okay, just give me the SOP. I'll do my best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big deal, is having that. And then I'm working with EXP to get more of I've got a checklist, but some parts are still missing for brand new agents who are just getting licensed. And so I want to fill in that gap, so that no matter what stage an agent is at, brand new, not even like got their license yet, all the way up to mega team, global reach, no matter where they're at, I want to be able to at least come in and know enough to know what to do next. So that's what I'm working on. It's hard. It's hard. You have to gather so much information, and then you have to break it down for dumb people like me to be able to understand. So
it's complicated, especially if you're a brand new agent and you're joining EXP, because you have to set up your own Trek site through Core, and then you have to go in and upload all of your forms yourself. So when I was with my other brokerage, that was my job as their agent coordinator.
And I think that's why I didn't remember.
Yep. I collected all of that information. I gave them a list of everything I needed, and then I actually did it for them via Zoom, because it was during COVID. And I would walk them through the entire process and set it up and fill it all out and make sure all the forms were in and make sure everything was taken care of and paid and give them their next to-dos after that. EXP has a ton of emails that give you a lot of that information, but it's very different when a lot of people are more hands-on.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to everybody, this is something I actually wanted to talk about today is, specifically targeting team leaders, team leadership. You can say downline as well, because I think we're seeing more downlines kind of grow. We see some brokerages adapting that model. So basically anybody who's leading a group of people, and again, shout out to John Cheplack and Nick McLean, who are wonderful advocates of this and really emphasize how important it is. You need to know your onboarding process. It needs to be so clean, so simple, and it needs to be fast and slow at the same time. They need to be able to go ahead and check some boxes if they need to, but they need to also understand that they've got plenty of time to take it step by step. It will not be the end of the world, and that the most crucial things. And as a leader, you need to have the systems, the processes, and the people in place to keep that consistently. And so that's something I'm seeing is like how important that is, because I feel like for so long I overlooked onboarding is not a big deal. Just get them logged in. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Reality is, and especially, Kat, like you said, with the emails and things like that, and you're a brand new agent, which means you don't understand most of the language that's going out.
Yep.
RealTracs. Well, how do I get to RealTracs? What is RealTracs, right? Trek. Okay, wait, who's Trek? Are they RealTracs too? Do I go to RealTracs and ask RealTracs about Trek? No. Oh, okay. Wait, when do I get my license? What do I do with that license? We haven't even talked about onboarding on a brokerage, then onboarding into the downline, then onboarding onto a team. And so like building that out as a leader, you have to really understand what is the goal and how do we break down that process in simple, clear, actionable steps that produce a visible result, right? It's not just go email someone. It's go get this specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're even trying to do, as you guys know, is we're trying to say, how much of this can we take off their plate and do on their behalf? Even though we're not their broker, how much can we do that? Because if we can do that, we're going to increase the amount of, we're going to increase the efficiency of how quickly they can get started and focus on what really matters, which is building a business. Honestly, I think one of the most important things agents need to do in their first year is make enough money to stay in for their second year. Because if they don't, no matter their heart and intentions. And so we need them to focus on that. And so I think if we can make the onboarding process about them absorbing essential items while we take off their plate non-essential items or just items we can do on their behalf, I think we see a better rate, because now what I'm seeing with this agent coming on who got so frustrated is he's losing momentum already. It's slowing him down. He's already frustrated. I'm like, man, he hasn't even started dealing with clients. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, man, that's not where I need his energy to be. I need his energy to be, Robert's got this. The team's got this. The Carbon Club's got this. I'm going to go do this. I'd much rather him start prepping some strategies, focusing on some training so that he's not playing catch up. He's ready the moment he's active. But now he's like, well, I got to call this person. I got to call this person. I emailed this person. Who's supposed to be doing that? And that's not insulting any of the parties. Our system is so broken. The real estate industry, like none of them work together. Trek doesn't work with RealTracs. RealTracs doesn't work with Trek. Trek doesn't work with RealTracs or your brokerage. None of them communicate each other. To be honest, I don't understand how the government agency of Trek, which is the governing body for Tennessee real estate, I don't understand why they don't have a portal for RealTracs and brokerages to go straight to. Why the heck are these, like, it's literally, there's all these bridges and then the bridges are cut in half. So they're like, yeah, that's the way you need to go. You just better hope you can jump really far because you're going to make it. So, like it's a mess. And that's where the leaders come in. And people go, well, that's the brokerage's job. That is a horrible mindset. Oh, that's Trek's job. I don't look at things like that. I go, can I help? And can I make this better next time? And so that's something I really want to talk about with leadership. You know, is I've heard a lot of leaders who go, that's someone else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you're leading agents and they're having a problem that isn't their own, it's your problem. Especially if you could do something about it. Why wouldn't you do something about it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'd say I'm right there with you. But actually, I have a team that I am working with that's out in California. And that's what we are in the process of making, is a complete and total onboarding checklist that they're going to hand off to their VA. And what we've done is literally, we've done 5 sessions now just on building this out. And it's to make it to where the VA can say, okay, have you done this? Great. Here's the next email and here's the stuff you want to do. So instead of how EXP does it, where they kind of send you that big, huge thing and they're like, click here, click here, click here as you go down, we've taken it and broke it apart into like 8 different emails. And then like for over in California, in a few areas, they're stuck for almost 2 weeks before their license goes active and they can't do anything. So we are putting together areas where we can send out emails every 2 to 3 days. It's like, hey, while you're waiting, go ahead and get your social media set up. Go ahead and watch this.
Yes.
Go ahead and do this area. Go ahead and do
Atta
this.
girl.
So we've got it planned out to where they can still stay busy and get some things done and get things updated, whether they're a brand new agent or they're coming over, to keep them in between. And so it's ridiculous the amount of stuff we have broke apart, but it is going to allow that agent to literally get an email every 2 to 3 days. It's like, hey, you should be doing this. Hey, you should be doing this. Have you completed this? Oh, great, you have. Well, then let's add you to the next section. So that once they go active, then we can start giving them a breakdown of, okay, then you should do this, you should have this, you should be an enterprise, you should be in your world, and following up, but not going forward until they, right, because they have to have some sense of responsibility, get back with the VA and say, okay, I've actually completed a step. Great.
Right.
So here's your next step. And then it goes down into, once I get that done, here's some things you're going to start watching. And then in the next 2 weeks, you're going to start coaching with your team leader. And that's how this is going to look. So we've taken the process and completely broke it down. And I've actually built out all of the email templates as well that's going out. And in those email templates, it's got places that you can go and links that go to this and videos that the admin that works for the team, who's been fantastic, goes in and creates Loom videos to walk people through certain things that it's hard to figure it out. So I'm super excited to see that. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to helping build that out for more teams in different states across EXP, so that people that do have teams and stuff, or even a downline that want to help their people get set up, can.
We need to do a masterclass, Kat, on onboarding, because I think a lot of brokerages, team leaders, downline leaders, all of them, this isn't something that's easy to go learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's confusing as heck, and there's not really a great resource. Go YouTube right now, and it is not clear, or it's super, super isolated to where they're not really teaching you the art of onboarding, if you will. They're just teaching you, oh, hey, welcome to insert brokerage. Here's your onboarding steps. And it's like, okay, that's not really relevant to me. And a lot of times it's incomplete. I think it'd be really awesome because, I'm passionate about building out onboarding stuff. You're passionate about building onboarding stuff. I think a masterclass about onboarding would be super cool. Anybody watching, would you love to see any team leaders or even just agents who are curious about the process? Would you love to see a masterclass with Kat and I about onboarding, building out onboarding? I know I would, but I feel like that's probably a given. But,
well, that's one of the things that we're doing is, once we build it out for her team and build out the complete checklist and all the email templates, we're then going to build it out for her downline. so that she can help her downline be able to onboard easier. Now, obviously, there won't be as many steps in between as there is with the team, but we're going to build it out so that she can still help her downline get set up properly so that they can be more productive moving forward.
I love it. And look at that. We already got people commenting saying they want to see that masterclass. You're just popular, Kat. You're just popular. I think you're the most popular one out of all the leadership team for sure.
I don't know about that, but I'll take the compliment.
You're right. Walter is pretty popular too. Yep, you're right.
That Hawaiian shirt.
I forgot to share some of my favorite moments of the week. So I got to give a shout out to, and I'm allowed to say their names, Sam, Camellia, and Ray again, for stepping up to be leaders for our accountability groups voluntarily. What's amazing is that the last group of leaders talked about how much they benefited from being a leader. A lot of people talk about obligation, and they're missing the opportunity for themselves to grow. So it was really cool to see a new batch, aside from Ray, who was like, no, I'll do it again, man. And Sam and Camellia coming in and stepping up to be leaders for our accountability group sessions. And because they did that, that allows us to have smaller groups, which I think is really important so that everybody has time to answer the questions honestly. If we start getting to 7, 8, 10 people, and we can't extend time. We've all got busy schedules, so we can't do 2-hour sessions. That's just unreasonable. So I'm proud of them, and props to them for being amazing. I love seeing the fact that we had more people sign up for this accountability group session than last one. And I hope we'll continue to see it to where everyone who's active, I'll use the word active, is in an accountability group every session. Because I think one of the things that people are not yet realizing about the accountability groups is that they go, well, I'm just super busy right now. I don't have time. Please tell me how you do not have time to be accountable to your goals and to be around people who will help you achieve those goals. I think that's a poor mindset, but I don't think it's their fault. I think it's accountability groups have never proven themselves to them as useful, but more of, oh, it's another meeting. Oh, it's another powwow. It's another hangout. No. Because I hear people say that. I hear people go, well, I'm going to go on vacation during the 5th week of the 6-week session. So what? What are you going to do for the rest of those weeks? Just prep for your vacation? Like, do you not have any goals over the next 6 weeks? Then if you do, you got to be in an accountability group. Why wouldn't you? So I love seeing the numbers go up, and I hope they keep going up. Misa, this is the first time Misa is actually taking over and going to set them up herself. So I'm super excited. She is a lifesaver. And we have an awesome little tracker now for the group leaders to be able to just literally click next to someone's name for attendance. Super awesome. And then I got a really cool thing to share that I think is a great story to wrap it up. Because we love talking about every week relationships, honoring people, loving people. But I know specifically, I think we all agree that treating each other, regardless of brokerage and team, is really important. Treating each other well and respectful, leaving a good impression. So about 8 months ago, I was working with a couple who was thinking about joining me at EXP. Right about 8 months ago. Awesome couple, powerhouse duo, been in the business for a bit, and worked with them, followed up for a bit, pretty consistently, but I'm not overly pushy. I probably could have had a better long-term plan, to be honest. I was still learning at that point, still am. And after like 2 months of them not replying to anything, I was like, I'm just going to leave them alone. I don't want them to get this impression that I'm here to only get something from them, and that's it. I want them to know that I do think there's value here, but it's okay. It's okay if they do something else. So fast forward to today, fast forward to yesterday, I get a call from one of them. Now it's been like 8 months, at least 6 months or so ish, since they had last responded to me. And they go, "Hey, Robert, you probably don't remember me." Of course I did. I was like, "What's up?" Funny enough. "What's up? How's it going? It's good to hear from you," right? Just cheery and nice. And they go, "Well, here's the thing." They're like, "Oh, we stopped obviously responding to you. Sorry about that." And we ended up going with someone else local for EXP. And then we got in and we didn't get any of the things that we were promised. They said EXP was great. EXP did what they were supposed to do on the brokerage side. But if anybody knows anything about EXP, downlines, who you choose as your sponsor is like amazing. Or it could be nothing. It's really up to you. So they went and they joined them, and then they realized they didn't get access to the person they were supposed to get access to. They didn't get the resources they were supposed to get. And they're like, it was really a disappointment. And they're like, and we remembered you. We remembered that you were someone that we've been seeing consistently month over month, week over week, day over day, put out the things that you said you would give. And we can see it with our own eyes. We don't have to doubt if it's there because we see it being there already. So they're like, back in March, we left EXP so that we could wait out the 6-month and 1-day timeline so that we can come back and join under you. And I was like, so did I leave you with a good impression? And they're like, you left us with the best impression. And that brought me so much joy because I never stopped caring about them. I kept moving forward with the gifts, with the goals, with the training, with the coaching. It wasn't contingent upon them doing something for me. I said who I am. Walter said who he is. I use Walter as an example because Walter does a ton of free training out there. And we just do our thing. And the right people, they want that. And those are the people we want. And it was just so cool to see that full circle of them coming back and calling me and saying, we've been seeing you pour into others. And that's what we want in our life. That's what we thought we were going to get at a local sense. And I get it for them going with someone local. Logically, it makes sense until you realize it's really not contingent upon that at all. It's whether they just deliver or not. If they deliver, you're going to be good regardless. People love Walter, and he reaches people all over the U.S., and they feel like they're best friends with him. I mean, he's got his own little fan club too. So, Cat and Walter fan clubs. Don't worry, Irene. I'll be your fan, okay? I'll start a fan club for you too. So I wanted to share that story because we talk about relationships, but also we talk about the reality of like being who you said you're going to be and be that person regardless. If the agent on the other side's a jerk of your deal, okay, that doesn't mean you have to be a jerk. You can still be a respectful, quality agent. Oh, well, they went and joined someone's downline. Oh, okay, so you only cared about them if you made money off of them. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying check yourself, because I bet you when you talk to them first, you use words like family, community, support, love, helpful. I bet you used all those words. And yet, when it came time to you to prove it, ooh, suddenly all those words disappeared. You shouldn't have said them in the first place then. I have no problem with someone coming up and saying, listen, a marketer calls me. I can't stand it when marketers try to make small talk. I'm like, listen, just give me the numbers. What are you trying to sell me? And how much is it? And show me the results. Like, hey man, I heard you're in real estate. You still selling houses? You still running I'm like, you clearly have not done your due diligence at all. And stop asking dumb questions. What are you selling? Right? Hey, you work with listings? No, I don't. I can't stand houses. Commission checks, get out of here. So I don't know. I want to share that with you guys because I feel like all of you set a great example of being who you are, regardless of brokerage, regardless of downline. And I think it's a good reminder for all of us to keep being that person. Whether you get the results you want from the other side or not, doesn't mean that you can't deliver on your part every time.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Thank you. I know I felt a little long-winded, but I thought it was a cool story. Maybe, I don't know.
I like it. It shows personality. So, and I feel like regardless of what brokerage anyone is with, we're all business owners, and that's something that we fail to remember, and we let other people and our clients and stuff kind of like wash that over us, when we should be working to help each other regardless.
Regardless.
That's why a lot of the times when I reach out to people and I talk to them about doing consulting work for them, I don't even tell them what brokerage I'm with, because it doesn't matter. I don't care. And I don't care who you're with. If you want the help and I know I can help you, then let's move forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a big thing for me, but people get so stuck on it, or so stuck on, oh, well,
it's that scarcity and competitive mindset.
Yeah.
You see it all the time. Same thing. I do as much coaching and training and helping people as I can all over the place. And I've had agents, after I've trained them, right? Hey, that was really great. I really appreciate your time. What brokerage are you with? Oh, yeah. And wasn't any point to mention that. Right? Mm-hmm. That's not what I was there for all the time.
Yeah.
If there's no amount of value attached to a brokerage name.
Mm-hmm.
There just isn't, right? EXP, Keller Williams, Century 21, Fathom, JPAR, whatever you got out there, right? That name holds zero value. It's the people interacting with other people in ways that they are actively trying to contribute. That's where value comes from.
Your clients don't care.
Exactly right. No single one client I've ever worked with has said, well, you're okay, Walt, but we really like the fact that you were with
X, Y, and Z.
Only people can convey and receive value. The brokerage thing means nothing.
Despite what we might be thinking in our heads, clients typically, humans in general, typically judge us if we talk negative about other things, even if we're right.
Rightfully so. Yeah. Because if you're already thinking negative, why do I want to work with you? You're going to be constantly looking at the negative instead of let's look at the positive. Let's look at the way we move forward and get this resolved, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome session, man. Love our sessions. We didn't get as many jokes from Chris, so I'm sure he'll make up for it.
I'm sure he'll make up for it.
We'll have him send a video. Where he just blurts out all of his jokes and random comments all at once. There you go, guys. But seriously, thanks, leadership, for being here. Everybody who tuned in, loved hearing from you. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, maybe some objections that you're facing, or some resources to share? We love facilitating. If you can't tell, we love facilitating this growth and the support of one another. We'd love to connect with you more, learn from you, share our resources and knowledge with you as well, and we all just grow together. So feel free to reach out to us, leave a comment, and then also be back here next Friday. What time? 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Central. I have so many meetings.
Nobody knows anymore.
All right, leadership team, appreciate you. Everybody have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.